With 2021 fast approaching, let's go over what some may call the worst LEGO Star Wars wave in history. This is the 2021 Winter Wave Revisited. Let's go over the pros and cons and why a lot of people think that this wave is one of the worst LEGO Star Wars has ever put out. Right here are three sets from that wave. The other ones I do not have, but I will go over an overview of that wave, which was supposed to be one big January release, but it was broken into two sub-releases, January 1st and March 1st. Let's go ahead and go over everything that was retailed in that wave. Starting off with 75295, we have the Millennium Falcon Microfighter. This was a subpar microfighter that did come out on January 1st of that year for a retail price of $9.99. Next, we do have the Trouble on Tatooine. This was based off the latest Star Wars Mandalorian show that was pretty lackluster. So a lot of people did not think that was a good set. It was missing a few things. So again, it was something that a lot of people didn't care about. That is 75299 Trouble on Tatooine. It did retail for $29.99. Next, we have what might be the most controversial part of this wave, which is the downscaled sets. First off, we have 75300 Imperial TIE Fighter, released on January 1st, 2021, and did retail for $44.99. A few years back, we had an absolutely massive, great LEGO TIE Fighter for Solo that did retail for a little bit more, but this one was slight downscaled, like almost 50% smaller. Next, we do have another one that was just released a few years prior, back in 2018, and it was the 75301 Luke Skywalker's X-Wing. So you had this amazing one from 2018, and then in 2021, you had this downscaled model, as you can see right there. It did retail for $49.99. Again, these were affordable, but they were not good. In the aspect of comparing them to what came out less than 5 years prior. Next, we do have the March Wave, which is a continuation of the Winter Wave, and we did have some lackluster stuff there as well. We have 75292 Resistance X-Wing Starfighter. This is a 4+ set. Nobody really cared about it. Nobody wanted it. It did come with two figures and retailed for $20, $19.99. That's a decent price for this set, but again, it is one that really nobody wanted and could have been replaced with something even better. Next, we have another microfighter for this wave, which is 75298 AT-AT versus Tauntaun Microfighter. Nobody asked for this. I do think that the AT-AT and the Tauntaun were pretty cool for this, but again, for a $19.99 retail price, was a good deal, but again, it could have been replaced with something better. But overall, I think that is one of the stronger sets of this wave, even though it being a microfighter. And lastly, we do have what might be the most controversial set of 2021, and maybe over the last decade. It is 75302, the Imperial Shuttle. This was a major downscale in almost every aspect. Looking at the bottom of it, it had that crimson chin, as M&R Productions like to call it. It is absolutely horrible. Now, in comparison of all three of these sets, it looks decent. But again, comparing it to the counterpart that came out in, I think, 2017, it is a major step back. And that is a theme throughout this wave. That set did retail for $69.99, which I think was only $10 off the last one. And this one's almost twice as small. So the theme throughout this wave was, why was it broken into two? Why were all these sets downscaled? Why did LEGO decide to do this? Number one, we did have the coronavirus from 2020. That did affect a lot of things with LEGO. So maybe LEGO is thinking, maybe times are tough. Let's go ahead and get some more affordable sets out. That's also number one. Number two is LEGO wanted to make more money. So they shrunk the sets, shrunk the price a little bit, but again, their margins were really good. Number three is that LEGO Star Wars had already peaked. Maybe they didn't care anymore. And you can see that throughout the last few years. Again, I made a video a few days ago about LEGO stickers and how their quality of stickers, as well as prints, is not quality anymore. A lot of the Star Wars minifigures are not where they should be or where they used to be. So I think LEGO Star Wars has peaked. I think now, for some themes, we are getting back to where it should be. But for a lot of stuff, LEGO Star Wars peaked a long time ago. And I think we need to come to the realization of that. We take a look at a 15-year gap in the ARC 170 Starfighter, and see for only $10 more, you're getting quite less of a set. In some aspects, it is an upgrade, but just like this X-Wing Starfighter, this was a downgrade in a lot of ways. This one was cheaper, unlike the ARC 170, which is more expensive. Inflation adjusted, it is roughly the same price. But not taking a look at that, just saying in 15 years, you would expect something to be better. It's worse in a lot of aspects. Minifigures are better, but a lot of that build is worse. So I'm just wondering why Lego, especially they take 15 years on that. But again, you have a basically 4-year gap between this Luke Skywalker X-Wing and you also have this TIE Fighter. Less than 5-year gap, and you go from having the best X-Wing and TIE Fighter ever to some of the worst. Now again, the ones that came out this year, in 2024 for the Luke's X-Wing and TIE Fighter, with after these two retired back in 2023, a year later they came out with two more in a dual pack for 110. Those are even worse than this. And you're wondering, how can you get worse than that? You can. So if you're wanting to get these are still pretty affordable. Luke Skywalker's X-Wing is going for about $60, and the TIE Fighter is going for about $45, $50-ish dollars right now on the used market, and sealed around that. Take about 20% off that for the used. The Imperial Shuttle has appreciated a lot more in value. That one's going for about $80 to $90. But again, relatively to what the price was, they're still pretty affordable. Now, compared to what we have now, they are better. But compared to what we used to have, they're a whole lot worse. Do you think Lego will remake the Imperial Shuttle, the X-Wing, and the TIE Fighter bigger? Or do you think the scale of Lego sets is going down, the quality is going down, and the price is going up? Let me know in the comments below what you think of this. I know this is a different type of video on the channel, but hopefully this can get a lot of people thinking about Lego, their Lego purchasing strategies, and if they're going to support Lego Star Wars in the future with some of their maybe not so community-driven practices that they have been doing over the past few years.